Right. So it took government at least 9 separate meetings between itself and organized labor to be able to reach an agreement or a consensus on the base pay increment for all public sector workers. Remember that organized labor had been calling for 60% upward adjustment in the base pay of persons on the single spine salary structure, which they say that it had been necessitated following the economic quagmire. Well, after a marathon of meetings, the government agreed to settle with 30% upward adjustment in the base pay of all public sector workers. But what really accounted for the delay in this particular agreement?
You remember the 4 and 7% that was given us, and our members were not very happy, and it is justifiable because of the economic situation, the hardship that we find ourselves as a country, the incessant increases of prices of goods and services, transport hikes, among others. That also worsens the economic situation. That wipes away the disposable income of our members. And for that matter, our members were not happy. We ourselves were also not happy. And it generated a lot of perceptions. So we decided that, looking at the way now inflation is about 54.1%. So you can imagine that. So we are saying that we have to demand what is expected of us.
So the agreed base pay increment is 30%, but it's that sufficient? Well, stakeholders have been interacting with Citi News on that.
With the understanding is that we are going to work towards getting the rest of the issues addressed. And we've also committed that we're going to work with government to ensure that whatever we can do to build our country, to make it great and strong, we'll get it done. So that is where we are, that we've gotten 30%. Yes, if you look at the variables at stake, you're talking about the issue of inflation, you're talking about the issue of rent, talking about the prices of food, rent, and the general goods and services. We are all aware. You don't need a prophet to tell you of what is happening now. But given the economic circumstances and conditions that we find ourselves in, the 30% is a win-win kind of approach, and we think that that is the way to go. And with the intent of working to bridge the outstanding deficits.
For now, we will say that we've gotten to a point, but it will also give us the opportunities to strategize, even for next year, because we are studying the economic trends. Okay, we are studying the economic trends. I wouldn't be surprised if this inflation is not curtailed, it will erode the gains that we have, and that will give us the opportunity to strategically position ourselves. Okay, and also demand for better percentage for our members that we are leading in this regard.
Meanwhile, a labor analyst, Gamey, believes that the government must do more for public sector workers. He says that the 30% increment may be eroded if the current economic situation is not stabilized.
If you project that we have currently end of year 54.something% being inflation, and not knowing what the consequences will be on all of us from economic point of view, 30% is a compromised figure. It may not be, if things go haywire, it becomes useless. Nonetheless, it will serve a purpose.
So for stakeholders, they say that the only way government can make sure that workers are happy in the country is to be able to stabilize the current economic situation. They say that anything apart from that would mean that all the gains that have been made would be eroded. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Kweku Ediamansa.